want to discover the flame that hides within you? Do you want to take a journey to discover your authentic self? I am Maria Felachidou, systemic consultant and color psychodynamics practitioner. Together, we will explore ways to discover your inner flame. Welcome. Come in. Make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath and relax. If you're wondering why you're always falling in love with the same type of person, let me tell you this. Somewhere deep inside, there is a repeating story. The same emotion, the same longing, the same disappointment, but with a different face. And maybe you have wondered, why is this happening to me? But the truth runs deeper. You're actually not falling in love with people, but with patterns. And these patterns didn't start with you. Welcome to the Inner Flame podcast. This is a place where we are not just staying on the surface of things, but we are diving deep into the invisible dynamics behind your experiences in life. I am Maria, and in this specific mini-series, together we will discover the reason why you fall in love always with the same person, but with a different face, and how this can change. More specifically, in this episode, I want to take you somewhere you may have never truly looked before. Because many times, the problem is not that we don't know how to love, it's that inside relationships, we don't show up as ourselves. We show up as a role. A role we learned that once protected us and helped us to belong, to survive, and to receive love. And without realizing it, we become the rescuer, or the pursuer, or the abandoned one, or even the victim, the servant, the chameleon, or the dictator. And the hardest part is not that we play these roles. The hardest part is that we think these roles are who we are. We think that these roles are our personality. Today, I don't want you to listen to this episode to fix yourself. I want you to listen so that you can begin to see for yourself, to become aware. Because awareness is where freedom begins. And maybe somewhere in this episode, you may also recognize yourself for the very first time, or rather, the role you learned to play and believe that is yourself. So, let's begin. First of all, let's have a look at why do we play roles in relationships? Well, think about this for a moment. No child is born a rescuer, a victim, or a chameleon. Every child is born authentic, with needs, emotions, and always feeling and telling the truth. But very early in life, the child starts learning what they need to become in order to receive love. And that is where the role is born. For example, if a child grows up in a home where they must take care of everyone, then they learn that their value comes from saving others, from taking care of others. If they grow up with emotional distance, then they learn to chase others in order to uh, win their interest, their love. Whereas if they experience abandonment, they may become overly attached growing up. Or if they feel powerless, they may want to learn how to control others so that they may never feel powerless again. And if, for example, they feel their truth is not welcome, then they may become like a chameleon, changing faces, changing behaviors in order to match the behavior with what others want from it. And slowly, the role they acquire becomes their identity because it happened at a very young age. And here's something important: most people don't fall in love because they are free to do so. They fall in love through recognizing a familiar role, a familiar dynamic, a familiar wound. And they call that love, when in reality, it's familiarity with the past. It's a situation they are already familiar with, they recognize it, and so they feel comfortable with it, no matter how hard it may be. And to tell you the truth, most people who come to work with me never say, I am playing a role in my relationships and I need to get out of it. Oh, no, they don't. Instead, what they say is, why do I always end up with people who need saving? Or why do I give everything and still feel unseen? Or they may say, why am I terrified of being abandoned? Or why do I lose myself in relationships? Why do I feel like I need control in order to feel safe? Etc., etc. And behind all of these questions, there is usually a role hiding. Not a bad, not a wrong role, just an old role, a role that once made sense. And today, it keeps the pattern alive. It hasn't left. We grow older, but the role hasn't left us, hasn't changed. Now, let's take a deeper look in some of these roles that we tend to adapt while growing up and believing that they will help our relationships continue for our best interest. The first one we're going to look at is the rescuer. The rescuer feels they must help in order to deserve love. This is the person who always understands others, who always stays in a relationship no matter how hard it is, and a person who always carries everyone else's burdens. Very often, the rescuer chooses partners who are wounded, lost, emotionally unavailable, or in some kind of crisis, because deep inside, they have a hidden belief which says, if I save you, then you will love me. You have to love me. You'll see how important I am to you. Get my point? The rescuer often doesn't know how to receive. That's another situation, another problem for it. They only know how to give. And at first, this can look so beautiful, so romantic, so endearing. But eventually, they become exhausted, empty, and resentful. And when that happens, what they say is, no one takes care of me the way I take care of others. Where Whereas the deeper truth is they never learned how to receive because as children, love may have only come when they were useful. For example, I remember a client of mine once telling me, I always end up with broken men. Rings a bell? And as we explored her dynamic, she remembered that as a child, she was always the good girl, the little therapist of the family. Everyone would go to her for emotional support. She was their emotional caretaker, in essence. It was the one who kept everyone calm and who helped everyone and listened to everybody's problems. This little girl, this woman nowadays, she never learned how to simply exist as a child. She never learned how to be a child. She learned to exist through caregiving. And without realizing it, she kept looking for people to save. And not because she was weak, but because that was where she felt valuable. That was where she felt important. That was where she felt loved. Because nowadays, as a grown-up, she often mistakes appreciation, admiration even, with love, with actual caring. And now I would like to ask you to take a deep breath for a moment. I know. And ask yourself, if I stopped saving others, would I still believe I deserve love? And please don't answer the question too quickly. Let your body answer it. Let your feelings emerge. Let an answer emerge from within you. And when you get the answer, I suggest you write it down in your inner flame diary, in your inner flame journal, just to have it in the back of your mind. But now let's take a look at another role we used to play in our relationships, the pursuer. The pursuer is constantly trying to win love. They are attracted to what is difficult, unavailable, uncertain, etc., etc. And when someone is emotionally available, oh my God, they lose interest altogether. Why? Well, because they learned to associate love with struggle, with effort, with proving themselves, with anxiety. The pursuer often grew up with inconsistent love. Sometimes it was there, and sometimes it disappeared. So his or her nervous system learned that love must be earned. It's not just given like that. And that's why peace for them, tranquility for them feels boring. This is why stability for them feels unfamiliar. And on the other hand, any kind of emotional distance feels exciting, stimulating, fascinating, romantic even. Let's go and check now the abandoned one. Very often, another role we tend to adopt. The abandoned one carries a deep fear of being left alone. So what they do is they cling to others. They overanalyze every little bit of emotion, of word, whatever is said or done by the other person. And when something doesn't fit, they panic. What they do is that they disappear inside the relationship. They may become overly available, afraid of boundaries and afraid of conflict, because deep inside, They believe that if you leave me, I won't survive. And many times, this did not begin in adult relationships. Of course not. It began much, much earlier. Maybe with an emotionally absent parent, or with a rejection at a young age, or maybe with the feeling that love had to be earned. But let's go now and take a look at another classic, the victim. Ooh, the victim feels life is happening to them, that others are responsible and they are always hurting them. And most of the times, if not always, they feel that they have no power over their life, their relationship they're in. And listen carefully. This does not mean they were not truly wounded. This behavior doesn't mean that they were not actually a victim at some point in their lives. Many people in this role have experienced real pain, but at some point, that pain became identity. And then the person becomes trapped, feeling helpless, and they feel bound to the situation, to the relationship. They feel that they cannot leave, they cannot choose differently, they cannot act or react in any way because deep inside them, they believe that they cannot do it. It's like a story I've read from Jorge Bucay with the little elephant in the circus. When they bought him and they took him to the circus, and in the beginning, what they did to restrain him was to tie his leg to a pole with a thick rope. And the little elephant struggled and struggled and struggled, but it couldn't break free. So after some time, it just accepted its fate, that it's impossible to break free from this binding, from these bonds. But the elephant grows up, becomes enormous, a gigantic being, stronger than most animals on earth. But still, every day after the circus act, what they do to restrain him is to tie him up at the same pole, at the same wooden stick, with the same rope. And even though obviously it's so easy for the elephant to just lift his leg and break free, he doesn't. Why? Because he believes that he cannot do it. Deep breath. And let's have a look at the servant. The servant lives to please others. They put everyone else first. They continuously adapt to other people's needs, to help them, to accommodate others, and they cannot tolerate disappointing people. Often, this is a person who says, "It's okay, I'll manage." But little by little, they disappear because every yes to others becomes a no to themselves. And to existing solely to serve others, you end up losing yourself. You do not serve yourself, and therefore you feel unimportant. You are so strong, like the big elephant, but all you do is bending your head, bowing to others, anticipating others' needs, always trying to fulfill other people's expectations. And that may leave you exhausted, depleted from energy, from emotions, from anything in your life, from dreams, from aspirations, from whatever. You are just there to serve. And talking about adaptation, the chameleon is the king of adaptation. The chameleon is one of the most invisible roles, to be honest. It's the person who changes constantly in order to fit in. In reality, they transform, they adapt, they become whatever the other person needs. And often what they say is, I don't even know who I am when I'm alone. Because the chameleon learned that authenticity may be dangerous, that in order to be loved, they must become acceptable. In order to be part of a relationship, they must wear the facade that the other person finds acceptable, lovable, worthy of being with. Even if that facade has nothing to do with their authentic self. It kind of reminds me now of the others in the Game of Thrones, where they had no face. They became every other person. Well, last but not least, in our list of roles, the dictator. The dictator is not always strong. It may appear strong, but usually he or she is not. Underneath, very often, they are deeply afraid. Bear with me. I know the dictator loves to control, to dominate, and he needs or she needs things done their way or the highway. Because the reason for that is that internally, within them, there is chaos. There is pain and chaos inside them. And they believe that if they lose control, everything will collapse. Their need to control others is the need to protect themselves against being afraid, against being lost. It's like the pain or the fear they experienced sometime in their lives make them take a decision, make them taking the decision that I will not allow this to happen again. I will do whatever it takes for this to never happen again. I will never be small again. I will never be weak again. I will never be afraid again. It's not acceptable. It's not tolerable. I will not do it again, and I will do whatever it takes, control, dominate, abuse, whatever it takes. I will become the perpetrator, the bully, the dominator. I will never again allow anyone to dominate me. Now, deep breath. I know it's a lot. From a systemic perspective, these roles are not random. Very often, they serve something larger within the family system. A child may become a rescuer because they are emotionally carrying their mother, who maybe needed to be rescued by someone. Or a child may become invisible because there was no room for their needs. Their needs appeared not to be as important, so they learn to fade away. Or a child may become controlling because the family environment felt chaotic and unsafe. So it had to take the reins, it had to be the boss, it had to bring order into the chaos, safety into the unsafe situation. And slowly, what happened is that the role became a loyalty, an invisible loyalty to that person as it grew up. And what the soul says is, if I stop being this type of person, I will lose love. I will betray the system and I will no longer belong to my system. And that is why change feels so terrifying because you're not simply changing behavior, you're changing a survival strategy. And that is pretty difficult, isn't it? To change your own survival strategy that brought you up, that brought you to here and now after all these years. And one day to just change it like that, uh, it may take time, it may take effort, but what I believe deep down, it does change. It can change because it's not you. It's not your authentic self. As we say in color psychodynamics, where it brings an even deeper layer of understanding because every person carries unique qualities, shadows, gifts, and default defense mechanisms. Some profiles naturally lean towards rescuing, others towards control, and others towards adaptation or withdrawal, among various profiles that exist. And this matters because you don't need to fight yourself. You just need to understand what your role is trying to protect. In essence, doing your color profile through color psychodynamics helps you reveal your authentic core, the role that became your mask, when you operate from fear and when you operate from your true essence. And truly, that changes everything because suddenly you stop asking, what is wrong with me? You stop feeling that something is wrong with you and you begin asking, what is this part of me trying to protect? What is the purpose of this part in me? What purpose does that role trying to fulfill, trying to express, try to reenact? And I do really hope that something inside you will change after listening to this episode. That you begin questioning the role, not your worth, the role you're playing. I hope that you can start saying, maybe I'm not too much. Maybe I'm afraid. Maybe I wasn't born to endlessly give. Maybe I learned that giving was the only way to be loved. Maybe I'm not controlling. Maybe I'm terrified of chaos. And this awareness is the beginning of freedom. Because once you can see the role, then you slowly stop being imprisoned by it. The first step in this journey of self-discovery, of self-revelation, is awareness. But because I'm like that, I'm that kind of person. After this episode has ended, I want you to write down on your inner flame journal one sentence. In relationships, I usually become and complete this sentence with what happens, who you become in a relationship. And then ask yourself, what am I afraid would happen if I stopped being this? That question alone can open a door you may have never opened before. And maybe now you're beginning to understand something very deep. You don't only stay attached to people, you also stay attached to roles, to familiar dynamics, to old emotional contracts, to invisible loyalties. And that is exactly what we will explore in our next Inner Flame podcast episode. The pattern that keeps you there and why you don't leave. Because even when one part of you knows, another part still cannot let go. And behind that, there is always a deeper bond. I would like to thank you for being with me in this Inner Flame episode. If something inside you clicked, then you may share it with someone who feels trapped in a role just to be loved. And if you want to explore your own relationship patterns more deeply through systemic work and color psychodynamics, you can work with me personally. Because you were not born to perform roles, you were born to remember who you truly are. You were born to discover your inner flame. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. You've been listening to the Inner Flame podcast with systemic consultant and color psychodynamics practitioner Maria Felachidou. Search for this podcast on Spotify and follow Inner Flame on Instagram and Facebook.